Yo, what up guys, it's QB back from the Chopper Express and I'm here to bring you another Emu video, and this time we're going to have some Emu versus Ace. Sorry for the slow uploads lately. I've just come back to work now, so just been having a little hard time getting the testing, and currently I'm not going into any events at the end of the year, so just struggling a little bit to find the urge to continue to just test this format, knowing that my next big tournament probably is until the OP13ish format, but still taking my time to learn the Emu deck and enjoy it for what it is, and continue just to make sure that I'm on top of my game and understand the matchups and how the Emu deck works. So I think just knowing that Ace and Zoro just going into any other future formats is going to just be really important. So just still saying keep my skills up, but just making sure, but just I haven't been able to test as much as usual, which is caused me to not have some videos to be able to be able to get up for y'all. So here I'm just bringing you my list currently. Most in this format, lists don't really change too much. You usually have a 2-card difference between most people, and that usually revolves around how many Shoutout you playing. If you're playing Carlos, how many Mozgard are you playing, and then how many losing my edge are you playing. And so I decided to go with 4 Shoutout. I think this card's really important into Ace and into Emu. And to other matchups, because it can function as a blocker, and then usually those matchups can come down to one card being the difference between winning and losing. So I think this card is really strong in those games. I decided to play Carlos just because it gives you 10 cards in the Emu mirror, where if you see 2 of each of them, you should get to 7 by your second turn without having to actually counter. So if you open Shoutout Carlos, you can get to 10 on your 5 Dawn turn or your 6 Dawn turn. Same thing if you open 5 Elders plus Carlos, you can still get to your 7 cards in trash. So I think playing the 2 Carlos is worth it. And I decided to go 2 Mozgard. I just feel like this 2K doesn't actually do anything. I understand the idea you want more 2Ks in your decks. You need to be able to defend 6 swings, but I just feel like losing my edge can just be a lot better into Zoro and Emu mirrors, since most of those matchups revolve around swinging base 5s at the lead to kind of chip cards. Being able to activate this card and go basically go net neutral for the turn on 2 5K swings, I think is really good, especially when you open really strong. So there's my current list. Nothing super special. As always, appreciate y'all for watching the vids. Appreciate the support. If y'all would like to see, I've been kind of testing a little bit of 14, so if y'all want to see a crocodile deck profile for OP14, just where I'm starting at, just feel free to leave a like, leave a comment, just to let me know, and then maybe I'll get a little video up, just say Croc and kind of how I think about it going into OP14. But let's get into the vids. Emu versus Ace, one of the premier matchups going into this next format. I think you really got to know this matchup back and forth. I think that and the Emu mirror, and if you're playing Ace the Ace mirror, I think those are just you need to be on top notch. I think both sides you can win both going first or second, but I do believe that the better player typically win, especially if you're going first. I think going first, if you are playing well and playing up to notch, you can kind of shorten the gap that second kind of gets by being on the second curve. So here I get my first matchup against Ace. Obviously we take the 7-cost stage. My opening hand is Carlos, Saturn, Equilibrium, Sheeta, and Nostro. I'm kind of thinking whether or not I should keep this hand. I'm going second, I think, in this one. Yeah, I get to go second. So I know that I'm going to play, if I don't, I'm going to get to play Carlos on my first turn, then Saturn, then Nostro, and my hand kind of plays out, and I decided just to keep it. I kind of want to just test it out. I know I could just mulligan for Hard Searchers, but I kind of want to see how this hand kind of plays out for now. So I'm going to go ahead and send the Nostro the first, just because going second, Nostro usually doesn't come as much because the first body you pop is on their 5 Dawn turn. So usually if I have Mars, then I'll keep Mars until I don't. He goes swing 9, which is pretty typical for Ace to have swing a big number. Majority of the time we're going to take. Here I have the choice between Never Existed, Elders, and Nostro. Like I said, I don't think Nostro is too good. I don't want to say bad, but it's not as good going on the second curve. But here I'm going to trash a Mars and then play Saturn. And here I think I should take the Workery. Understanding that I know I'm bottom decking 110 cost right now, but if I take the Workery, for me it just feels like I can not have to worry about it later and worry about finding it later, or I can take the Mars and then try and just continue to look through my deck a little bit to see if I can find the other pieces, because right now I don't have access to Workery and Jupiter. So I could take either. All 3 options are pretty good. I decided to take Saturn. which is I think interesting. I think this is like part of the, I don't know, for me it's fun. I think there are multiple decisions and they all can affect the outcome of the game, and I think it's just something that I'm working on right now. So here I draw another Mars. And I think my reasoning for taking the Saturn in the last turn is because I think in this, especially on the curve that I'm at right now, I think I value finding Jupiter over the Workery right now. So I really want to have Jupiter going into my 8 Dawn turn. So if I have to next turn play Saturn, play Jupiter, play Saturn, hard play Saturn, then play Jupiter, then like I can get like multiple 7K swings at his face still. But here I go double sixes and then Mars, which is pretty standard for how this goes. And then I'm gonna go ahead and throw down the Shoutout here. I think so. Right now I'm looking at my board. He doesn't have a board. He's going into his 7 Dawn turn. There's not way he doesn't have any weenies. He didn't open weenies which is unfortunate for him. But here I know that my Shoutout basically is gonna get rip 2 cards more than likely because he'll swing with his lead. I'll take the block with Carlos more than likely, and then I'll be able to rip 2 cards at the end of the day. So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw the Shoutout out. I'm really far ahead in my opinion. I'm at the point like because he didn't open I want to say like also any searchers. I'm able to just like kind of play freely with my Shoutout. Here he's teching the Ezo, which is an interesting card. I haven't seen people play it, but I mean I guess it could be beneficial in certain matchups. And here he decides to swing 7 face. I go ahead and just take the block with Carlos, and then here I'm kind of thinking if I can find another Mars to out this Ezo, then that would be really good. And I know basically this turn I'm gonna be able to like chip his hand, and I'll be able to chip his hand. So I'll be able to chip his hand for 4 cards basically this turn. So I'm gonna go ahead and send a 6. And this is kind of where like I guess I have to decide what I want to discard for this turn. So it's interesting because I could just hard play the Saturn. And if I find Mars, then like am in a really good position. But if I don't find Mars, then it's kind of like, what do I do for this turn? I end up swinging 3 6s or swing 6 play Carlos. But I ended up finding the Mars, and so Mars is gonna let me deal with the Ezo. But I'm not gonna get to swing. I'm not gonna get to swing multiple 6s this turn. But I will be pretty set up for next turn. I think the only issue right now is that I don't think I have access to Jupiter or Workery right now, so I have double 10 costs, but I need to find those 2 cards in my next turn. He decides to go Ezo. I can't tell if that's like a good or bad thing. I think you probably would have liked to maintain Ezo, only because I feel like you would want a card that could deal with my Shoutout. Here I cycle after, which is something that I also probably should have done before. I always feel weird about cycling before or after. Typically, I know rule of thumb is to cycle before, typically, because you want to see what you draw before you search. But I think sometimes, I would say like in this situation, I decide to cycle after. Only because I find it hard to make the decision on the card that I want to pitch. But I think I should just make the choice and just do that instead of trying to do the search, do it the other way. So here he goes 8 cost into 9 beard. He's going to swing pretty big. I'm going to go ahead and take the block. The Shoutout now gets like a little bit better value because now Shoutout is basically just a 10k swing at his face. And here I draw Charlotte for turn, so I'm going to go ahead and just loop. And I think on this turn, I really want to make sure that I have my 10 costs, or I want to have all my elders set up for when I go 5 elders. So I'm really just trying to make sure that by the end of this turn I have access to everything. I think because I know that if I don't find access, then like I'm going to be put in a weird position. But if I get access to everything, I can just play my 10 beer or play 5 elders for the 3 costs, and then I'll leave it sitting for a turn. And that'll really be good for me going into the next turn, especially if he doesn't have the ability to make himself a 8k or a 10k leader again. So here I'm just thinking what I want to do for the rest of my turn. I know I'm going to spend 3 to play the elders, and so I go ahead and spend the event, and then I'm going to go ahead and play 5 elders, and then you go ahead and swing 10 to the face. I personally, if I don't die to a Raj or anything like that, I like to just maximize getting my swings in. I know sometimes you need to leave up a Dawn for your events and things like that, but I think basically this format I really like to do versus Ace deck is you just sit there and count. And I think if you're hyper aggressive, they know you. You have the out Roger, and if you're like super conservative, then like you don't give yourself enough time to like kill them. So here he goes. I am Whitebeard again. He's gonna rip his life again. So to me, I'm like reading this as okay. He's trying to set up for a kill shot with Goldie Roger on the following turn. So basically, what I have to do is I have to just recognize next turn. I'm more than likely gonna have to guard 10-6. If I can guard 10-6, then I know that he can't kill me with Goldie Roger. So I will play my turn, understanding that as long as I have an out for 10-6, that I win. So here, I think I actually just ripped the Workery off the top. I have Charlotte, so like I probably had more options. I'm not going to spend extra Dawn to get these things to get my Saturns to swing, so I'm just going to go ahead and nuke my Saturn at the beginning of the turn just to see what I'm playing with. And here, what I'm kind of thinking is, if I swing, I can swing 12 with my 5 Elders, and then he can go guard +1, or should I swing like 16 with my 5 Elders, and then get in some chip swings with my leader and the Nose Juro. So if I swing 16, it like, I guess the way I'm thinking about it, it like forces the guard because he has to pick it up versus like maybe he can like hard counter the 12 to 8 and then try and block one of the AK swings. One thing about Sim is like I think those type of I guess math problems are a little, I have to like sit down and actually think about those things. So I go ahead and swing 16. I'm just saying you have to block with your Whitebeard. And then from there, and this is just like a dumb idea that I had. The reason I went for this line is I was like, oh, I can like take off my thing. I'll play Nose Juro trade it into his 9-cost Newgate. It doesn't matter if he can protect his 9-cost Newgate, he'll just protect his face. So that was just like an incorrect only on my part. So I go ahead and trash Charlotte at this point. I don't need her anymore. Oh, I did have Workery. Ooh. And so here I pick up Jupiter, and so now I just have to do the math. So right now I know that never existed plus never existed counters out of one swing, and I have a 2k for the other swing. So I can just be hyper aggressive towards the face, leave up 2 Dawn for 2 never existed, and he can never kill me. And so that's what I'm going to do. Like I said, this is just kind of like how it is going second. I think going second obviously is easier. I think going first is going to be definitely harder and kind of can vary, but yeah. So he now has to go for white or go for Roger. Even if he had like another Newgate here, I just don't think another Newgate wins. I'm just going to try and maintain as many swings as I can, and then I'll do as many 8s as possible through Newgate. So I'll take this, make sure the Newgate turns, hit him with double never resisted, and that is game. So yeah, I think on our side, I think we curved out really well. We hit what? I think we hit, after keeping our hand of Carlos Saturn, our Saturn turned into another Saturn, which when we drew Mars, and then we were able to basically find our curve and find all our pieces. And then with our opponent not opening any 1-drops, he had no way to contest Shoutout, so we decided to go ahead and just get Shoutout out there. And Shoutout getting 2 cards is really effective, especially when he decided to go up to being a 10k leader. So that Shoutout basically functioned as almost a 10k swing for one Dawn. So I think the cards, that's where I think Shoutout kind of shines. I think on the A side, I think he spent his EZO, but I think that's one of the things is with the ace deck, when it opens EZOs, when they decide to hold their EZOs or keep their Garbs so they get bounce with Josu's to be able to check the Shouhoshis. I think that's when the game can get kind of changes a little bit. But here we go. We're going to go into game 2. Game 2 is also on rank Sim. I'm not a high rank Sim person. I'm like probably low to mid right now. So here, bad hand, mulligan. So I decided to choose first. I wanted to give you all a match where I go first and one where I go second. So here I open Mars, Equilibrium, Saturn, Shouhoshi, Nose Juro. So I'm going to go ahead and send Nose Juro. Mostly because my hand right now, it doesn't, I'm looking like I'm not going to get to 10. So I'm like, okay, well, Nose Juro feels kind of mid. And here's one of those things where I like struggle personally. Like, what do you, like, I don't know what to pitch. I could pitch, none of the cards I want to pitch are good, so I just think, okay, I'm just going to spend this now to see what I get, and then whatever card I get is probably going to be what I'm pitching off this card. So here, I went, the 5 loaders are present. Picked on this Drew, pitched on this Drew. I just felt like every card in my hand was already good. So he misses his Marco turn. So I think I'm in a pretty decent position here, actually. So right here, I'm really just missing Jupiter. So this turn, I could pitch either Mars or so because he didn't play anything, there's probably a world I should just pitch Nojuro here. Because more than likely if he plays like Yamato or something like that, then my Nojuro just isn't going to do anything. And then usually if it's Jozu, then like maybe you want to hard play Nojuro out there. And this could be on me, like I think maybe pitching the Workery just like wasn't good. I think keeping the blocker probably would be advantageous later in the game. Here I'm going to go ahead and take Elder and pass my turn. So I know this next turn should be either Yamato or Jozu. So it's either Yamato swing 8 or Jozu swing 6. He goes Yamato, so now I know my Mars is going to be able to pop his Yamato. I'm going to have advantage on the board, and then I'll be able to throw out a Shihoshi as well, and the Shihoshi should be able to get 2 cards or get a card or get a card plus block. So here he goes swing 8. I'm going to go ahead and guard with Equilibrium and then give him a 1k with Nojuro, I believe. You can see the argument for Saturn, but I just don't think... My thing with Nojuro sometimes is that... So I'm going to play Mars this turn. Next turn, he's going to play Iron Whitebeard. The turn after that, I want to play Jupiter because Nojuro isn't going to do anything to me. It doesn't do anything in my opinion. So here, I go swing 6 twice. In theory, he should block both. He should block both and see the Mars coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and swing 6 again, see if I can try and get a life for this. He takes life, takes the card, so I'm going to be able to get past 1 leader ability this part, so I'm feeling good. And this kind of comes into me like not being too sure about my plays. I could Shihoshi here, and I probably should actually, because what Shihoshi will allow me to do is... So I think I go into the Mars guard, but I'm going to go Mars, pop Yamato. So I have 13. I could keep this up knowing that he's going to basically force to swing 8 next turn. Or I could play Shihoshi and hopefully it functions as a blocker. And if he goes Iron Whitebeard, then I should let my Shihoshi rock, because either way it's like fine, I'll get 3 6s on the next turn, plus go Saturn, plus something else to find Jupiter, because that's like the one that I'm missing right now. So he goes Iron Whitebeard. He's going to go 10 cost Newgate, give 2 Dawn to his leader, and he's going to swing on 8 lead, I think. So this is I think a misplay on my part. I think I should have maintained the Mars. I actually took the 8. Because the Mars is going to be like this next turn I would get 3 cards. And if I maintain that pressure, it's a little different. So here I go stage summon Saturn again. I should have cycled before, so I probably should have cycled. Let's see, that's a hard decision. I don't know what I should have cycled. I probably should have cycled a 10 drop depending how far I am. But here I get a Jupiter, but I've already messed up my turn to where I can't really do anything anymore. Like I basically have 2 swings, they're both 2 7s, and then I have to keep up my 1 Dawn. So I basically, because of the way I play this turn, it's just a misplay. And now I'm putting myself in a weird position because I'm ending with no blocker. I'm ending with, so basically he's going to be able to swing a 12 in my face for free. If he has another 10 cost, I'm basically going to have to keep up a Dawn for Rad Beam to keep that up. But I'm going to be at 2 life, going 2 beards. And I'm just significantly behind, but if I had just maybe hard played the Saturn or decided just to go leader ability first to see what my turn kind of looks like, then, or just kept the Mars. The Mars is also fine because I could have went like 3 6k swings plus Shihoshi, and then if I find more counter or a blocker, then I can just like play a blocker and then keep that up and then just use those to kind of like chip away for like 3 to 4 cards every turn. So here I go ahead and decide to swing 6 and say, hey, I'm just gonna like try and see if I can fit in the card. He goes in blocks. I guess he thinks I'm only doing 2 6s this turn. So I think for me, I just go ahead and pivot to just doing an 8 instead of establishing the Workery, which I don't know is actually is correct. If I play the worker, it's kind of like the same thing. I'm going to be able to guard. Maybe I'll take one swing, and then I would basically have to block or guard one swing. Um, but I don't have Jupiter, and maybe I should have took Jupiter on that last turn as well. So he goes in and swings 6 to my Shoutout, so it finally dies, and then he plays Goldie Roger, and now I'm just in a very, very rough spot. He decides to swing, I believe, at the Saturn. I think, in my opinion, he should just go both face. If he goes both face, I immediately go to 1 life. We're both at 1 life. He has the ability to take his life next turn if he really wants to, knowing that 12, 13, 16 should really get him there. But because he goes for body, it gives me a little bit more time. So now I'm just trying to do math. He has too many cards, so I can't do like the big swing at Goldie Roger. But I have 2 lives, so basically the ways that I win now is, I guess the way that I win now is kind of just kind of baiting him into trying going for a game. So I'm gonna swing 6. He could just like hard rip it, but I guess in my mind, I can't win this game being passive. Like the ace deck will just sit there and it'll just keep summoning big bodies until the math is just perfect. So you just have to, in my mind, you just have to keep swinging, and hopefully they fall into a situation where they try and go for game where they shouldn't go for game. So here, I think I should swing 6, swing 8. I know I have 4 events. If I swing 8, it puts him to 0. Or I think the odds of him taking, like, he'll take are pretty likely. And then the card I lose to is putting. Like if he goes putting, but putting is still like not guaranteed. Putting is 12, 12, 13, and I know all my events. I know all my events except for I think 1 3K is in my deck still. So basically, if he puttings me, it's just like random chance. So I wouldn't expect my opponent to take that line. So I'm just gonna play for the Dawn. So I'm just go ahead and just swing 8, swing 6. See if he decides to be defensive and guard. I think if he takes and decides to just try and pressure, like I think he'll be able to like pressure my face once every turn and then force me to have guard. So I think that's what I probably would have done. I think if I'm him, I'm taking and start your turn just like 13. You get a free 13 face every single turn, and I'm forced to identify the rest of the pass for the turn, but staying at 1. And then if it doesn't get there, you just go turtle up again for another turn, and just basically you get a free swing. But now here I'm going to be able to like guard 1 swing, block 1 swing, and if he decide to turn a new gate, then like that's just advantageous for me in that situation. So here I go never existed, trying to stay at 2 as long as I possibly can, but I'm also trying to identify if like how many swings I need to kill him, because I don't want this game to keep going. So like the thing that happens a lot in the ace matchup is I think the good ace players, they'll just do the math and they'll just say, hey, I can live another turn, I'll just play for another turn. And so the game, I feel like gets hard. Like this is, I guess, one of the special occasions where like they hard play Goldie Roger, but the game gets hard when they identify, alright, like I have time. So I think you just want to apply pressure. So here I'm going to try and punch a 6, and I don't think this is actually correct. I think I should be swinging my I'm using my Dawn too early. I should actually be swinging the Elders first to see what he gives me for them, because I think the one way I can win right now is if I can try and get one of the Whitebeards or the Roger off. I really can win if I get the Roger off the board. So I really just need to chip his hand and then try and hit a 12 or something. But so here, but I shouldn't have used my Dawn. I should just swung my Elders first, base numbers. And I think this is kind of the best way to kind of like pick at your opponent's hand. And at this point, he should have took. I don't know why I guess he's still scared that he can't kill me yet. Which I understand. Like right now, he's threatening like 12, 13, 16, which is probably really around like 14, 14, 14 or something like that. Or no, it's like 13, 13, 14, which I think I can counter out of that. But so I guess he's just like, oh, I can't kill him yet. But he does kill me if he has pudding, and so it's kind of like. So now I'm trying to say, I'm just thinking, okay, you probably don't have pudding. I could have swung another 7, but I'm deciding that now to say, hey, I'm just going to leave my board up. He has 2 cards. His 2 cards have to be blockers. If they're not blockers, then I kill him like 100% of the time, I think. Or I can like at least trade over the. I can at least trade over the new gate. But I think it's a little messed up. I think I played this turn kind of weird. I think if I save my Nostro swing for the last swing, and maybe instead of trying to, like, maybe I could just swing everything 7s. If he takes, then I kind of like turtle up. Because I wasn't being aggressive for no reason. It's like I didn't count my hand. If I count my hand, then I would have seen that, like, okay, like I have the cards, the counter power to not die. So I'm basically floating 5 Dawn and giving him more time. And I should have been slightly more aggressive on this turn. Here he's leaving up 6. Like 10's a weird swing, so I'm basically just saying. I think he's just basically saying that he's gonna use the rest of his Dawn to summon blockers, like splitting 15-15, knowing I have 2 blockers. I could counter out of this, but I'm also thinking like this is probably just the last turn of the game. I don't think there's more turns after this, in my opinion, because the way it currently is right now, there's nothing I can trade over. And so it really is legit just me staying here. But I guess I could try to live one more turn. But if I swing at his face, then he just didn't take. And so here is like, for me, I thought about this turn a lot afterwards. So I'm going to pause it right here for a second. So basically, I know he has 1 card in hand. I don't know what it is. If I haven't been paying attention, I have a bad habit of not tracking when I'm on the sim. So he has 1 card in hand. I have 6 swings. I'm showing 6 swings. I really have 7 swings currently. He has 4 blockers. So I have 3 swings that should go to life. So basically, how I kind of thought about it afterwards. We're gonna go through it, but what I think I should have done, and it probably ends up being the same thing, is because I have Mars, I should start with an Elder Swing. The Elder Swing will give my opponent the option to either block, take life, or give me the card in hand, which could let me go Mars, and then Mars, which could free up a swing. But I'm spending 3 Dawn for it. And then for the rest of then I have 5 swings versus 3 blockers, which still isn't good, I think. But we'll see what I end up doing. So, and I think the problem is I wasn't aggressive. I think my problem, if you can see in this game, is I wasn't aggressive enough. If I was like slightly more aggressive last turn, I floated 5 Dawn. If I was slightly more aggressive, like, we probably kill him through this. So basically, I'm just thinking. So I'm like, okay, the options really are I swing 6, he gets this stuff off, right? If he guards, I'm like, okay, I could potentially throw another 7 or throw a 7 phase. He either takes block, knowing that if I have Mars, then I can probably play through the last 4 cards. Or his last 4 cards have to be like 2k, 1k or something like that. So he takes. I swing 6 and he takes. So now I'm like, okay, he took. It's interesting. I should make the read that card is counter power. Then more than likely, it is probably a 2k, maybe, because that card, that's probably that's like the most value. So I go swing 8 with Saturn, which I think is incorrect. It should be a 7. If I swing 7, he's supposed to take the block, and then I can divide the rest of my swings. So say I swung 7 in this scenario. So I swing 7 with the Saturn. He's like incentivized to take that block right there, because if I go tribute for leader ability 7 Mars pop, my 7k will get a card, and then it'll get the Marcos. So basically he'd be down a card of 4 cards with 4 swings left. So then I could divide 7 Dawn by 4. So 7 Dawn by 4 is like 2 each with 1. So he would have to guard a 9k swing, which is really doable in 5 cards. So maybe that's not correct to do the Mars thing then. So I should just press with numbers then. So here, yeah, because I'm going to need the extra swing. So I end up going 8. And this is another thing I was thinking. I think I should have just swung bases on everything and force his whole hand to be 2Ks. Because right now I'm swinging into blockers, and maybe even here. Even here. Hold on. I misplay again. I have 7 Dawn. He's taken only 8s. I should just go 10, 11. And then just do that split, I think. Because what? 10, 11 is 2, 2, 1. Nah, 8s are still probably better, actually. So this is actually correct to go the other way, I think. So here, I'm like, okay. Go another 8. This should take the block. He guards, and now I can't kill him anymore. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe I do think there were lines for me to kill him. I just don't know what they were. And so I think that's just one of those where, but I think early in the game, I think this is the same game where I took the Marco block or the Mars block when I shouldn't have taken the Mars block. Like, we're gonna lose this game by one card, and that all could have been changed by either taking that life or taking the not just not just auto blocked. But also, this game probably would be a lot different if he decided just to push face with the 12 and 13. So I think we both probably could have played slightly better, if anything. But I do think the opportunity he gave me to win the game, and I just couldn't close out. So here, I didn't really do the math. I'm just gonna go and pass. Just I'm not gonna do the math, but like, hopefully my counter is enough to get there. But there's just like no point in playing a blocker or playing any of those cards. So hopefully he just like fumbles the math. But I'm pretty sure the math is basically impossible. Like 12, 13, 12, 16. Like, I don't even know if it never existed. It's probably need like at least 3 to 4 to even be in this game. But it gives you the opportunity to see like, hey, like, I kind of misplayed a little bit. I misplayed a pretty decent amount there in this game, and still had a chance to win. My opponent gave me a chance to win. I think that's a lot of what this format really is I think when you are technically sound in your gameplay and also understanding of the matchup and the course of how the matchup typically goes, then that gives you a larger chance to win the game. I think this format is, to me, pretty actually kind of fun. Actually, I think just to get into a little discussion, I guess I'm a person. One, I just enjoy One Piece in general, so I kind of just float between formats. So I've played formats in Yu-Gi-Oh personally where it's been tier 0 and like there isn't other decks to choose and you have to play those. So like when I get into a format where it's, oh, there's 3 decks to choose, and I'm like, oh, well, I kind of enjoy one of the decks, then I'm like, all right, well, I'll figure it out. But also I enjoy jungle formats where you have multiple decks, because I like, for example, during the last format I played OP11, or during OP11 I played a lot of Blackbeard, like 9, 10, 11 I played Blackbeard, and those formats were wide enough where I could do that. Here he's going to go ahead and start swinging 13. Pretty sure you just do the math on his side. But I'm not going to have enough counter. So, but I think there are enjoyable parts of both sides of formats, and I think we just gotta just enjoy them for what they are for now, and then, you know, as the game progresses, you'll have new decks get introduced. Bandai, the company, will make some changes if things are a little too strong. It may take a little bit longer than others, but you never know. Here I'm just gonna try and counter out, but I don't even have enough. I thought that was gonna be 13 by itself, but it wasn't. So I lose. But yeah, I think the format's been pretty enjoyable so far. Like I said, I haven't had a real event to play, but it's really been a fun opportunity to learn the game or continue to get better at the game. I think this really helps. I think this format should help a lot of people with their technical play in terms of swings and making assessments on the person's hand based on how they're countering. I think in these type of formats, I think similar to Sakazuki was for me when I felt like I really started to understand the game. I think these formats really give that type of opportunity to people to say, hey, like, if you really sit down and get really good at these formats, they really teach you technical aspects and be like, okay, like, how do you exploit small technical plays to give yourself percentage changes? And then as we go into other formats, you start seeing those skills really come up more and more. I mean, like, you can, for me, I like really enjoyed playing Blackbeard, because even if it may have been slightly worse in the format than other decks such as UP, GP, things like that, I felt like my play could carry me through certain situations, which stemmed off of me playing Sakazuki during like OP5, OP6, and I think OP7 format. Like that kind of set the foundation for me getting better at the game. And I'm not even great at the game, to be honest. I'm kind of mid, but I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed both sides of playing against Ace, and then I hope as people go to their tournaments that they really can use this information to push themselves further. And I appreciate y'all, man. As always, stay safe out here. Peace.